Good morning. Good morning. I was just sniffing my nose like a little animal. Good Sunday. No, not Sunday. It's Monday. It's Monday morning. It's happy December. Bunny for those who celebrate. Good morning, Laura GV. Nice to see you. And Cat Mama. And there was some Pat and me with my favorite chapstick. Yeah. 8 a.m. on a Monday after quite a bit of a extended weekend for some of us, hopefully all of us. Pagerella and Storm. Pagerella. Did you notice I added an extra ah to the end of that? It's my Boston accent. Maura has joined us as well. And you know what? I'll be here for the next 59 minutes or so. So you know we're going to get some other folks showing up. But for now, it's just us. So yay. Yeah, Pagerella. So here, let me take a sip of my tea. My tea. There we go. I love this. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is hitting the ground running. She has 2 declutter tasks. Now, she has it in her head that she was going to declutter. But anytime you tell somebody you're going to do something, at least if you're wired like I am, it's going to increase the likelihood that you will actually do that. Okay? That is what I like to call a tool in your toolkit. So I love it. I love it when people tune into my TikTok lives and my YouTube lives when I do those and share with me and us what they're planning on decluttering while we're during the party. Not just, oh, I plan on doing it later. That's good. But saying I'm going to do it now and doing it. So Laura is saying, I have 2 declutter tasks while we are here. Notice that while we are here is also creating a boundary of time to get you started. All right? Number 1 for Laura is select 20 items to go to the gem shop. And then 2, I'm sure she's writing it. Okay. Good morning, Danielle, going into the office today. God bless you. And Erin, good morning. I have an extra long morning of TikTok live and declutter party at 9 a.m. and coaching. So I have my extra big mug here. So notice already. All right, and 3, not sure. Now here's the funny one. Laura Gibbon Voorhees. I missed number 2. Now this happened yesterday. There may be a technical difficulty sometimes with TikTok because somebody said they wrote something and then he said, "So how can you help me?" And so sometimes those things. 2 was get rid of. Okay, got it. So wonderful. I love it. Okay, get rid of. Wonderful. Have at it. If you need help, you know I'm here. We are here. We are here to help each other. So do your thing, and if you get stuck, let me know, okay? Erin, see, I love this because Erin, I know you have to travel because of work and stuff, but putting away my suitcase from work travel, this should be one of those things that you want, like making this as easy and as low key as possible, and just do it. Okay? All right. So, yeah, what else is new? Yeah, so notice those things. To you, putting away the suitcase and the stuff from work travel is probably one of those cycles like laundry, like dishes, like doing the mail. It's something that recurs often in your life. So much like I said to Laura Gibbon Voorhees, well, first of all, yay for proclaiming what you're going to do, not just to yourself, but to somebody else. That's a tool in your toolkit. Sharing your intention with somebody else, me, you, Laura, the universe, whomever. That is a tool in your toolkit for yay for using that. But also finding a way to make the things that are recurring in your life to not activate your nervous system into anxiety and overwhelm and aggravation. Okay? So you've done this a couple times, but seriously, I always am saying, if you need my help, let me know. But just remind yourself, even coach yourself through it. This is no big deal. I do this all the time. I have an easy system now. And if you don't have an easy system, you know me. I love easy and I love systems. And if you don't know me, everybody, I realize I'm chatting here with Erin, who's going to be unpacking her suitcase from stuff, and Laura is going to be getting rid of stuff. And yes, get rid of, either sell or donate or whatever. If you don't know me, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Destination Decluttered here on TikTok for the next 55 minutes. And obviously I have a TikTok page, but I'm doing a live for 55 minutes. And that's typically how I show up on TikTok. I also do YouTube lives. Do I have any scheduled this week? Oh, I do. I've got a bunch of them scheduled this week. So Destination Decluttered on YouTube and destinationdecluttered.com. All one word, Destination Decluttered, like no space. Destinationdecluttered.com is my website where you can find out all about my one-on-one coaching, getting on my free mailing list, getting invited to declutter parties, stuff like that there. Okay, so there's the presenting who I am, and I'm going to be here for the next 55 minutes. Another person who tends to show up, and I love this, notice what you can learn from what's working from other people. Kat Roby has, to me, been the OG person to come and state her intentions of decluttering. Because when I do these TikTok lives, the only person who is required to stay in front of the screen for the entirety of it is me. Everybody else, you all can go do other things while I'm still here keeping you company in the background. Just, pump up the volume. Okay? OG. Yeah, she's the OG person because Kat Roby comes in enthusiastically. Woohoo! And then she has a name for it. She thinks this is fun. This is what she's calling her SBB. And I love an acronym. This is her, or whatever it is. They're Scheduled Beth Blinders. Scheduled. When I show up is when she scheduled it. Beth, that's me. Blinders means she's going to focus on what's in front of her and practice not being distracted by putting on some blinders. And then she lists them out. Number one, she shares them with me, and then she gets going and she shares them with us. Yeah. 1, update pavers and potholes. Yes, if you don't know what that is, everybody, pavers and potholes is what I call the free habit tracker that is available to the people on my free mailing list, free. It looks like this. I printed mine out yesterday, and I did actually fill in what I'm going to do, which is pretty much just a replication of my one from November. It is a simple yet powerful tool to help you do little things in life that if you don't write them down, you're going to forget them. I've got stuff like drink water, move my body, floss my teeth, things like that on there. If you're interested in getting one of your own so you can fill it out for the month of December, destinationdecluttered.com is my website. There's a place to give me your email address. You share your email address with me in that form, and my email thing will send you out a link to a page where you can download this, okay? destinationdecluttered.com. And yeah, habit tracker, it's the first of the month. Bunny. Good time to start. 2, fold laundry. Much like Erin unpacking her things, you've got a routine. Many of us have that kind of cycle of laundry. So part of that is it. And then switch it to the dryer. There we go. Sounds good. Love it. Again, if you need help, that's why I'm here. Okay? Hey, good morning, Stacy Woods. There we go. Now, I love this, Leslie. Thank you for reinforcing this. So Leslie is tuned in, and she says she couldn't join too many of the lives this weekend. I am not surprised, and there's nothing wrong with that. I popped up and did some lives this weekend, even though I rarely do lives on weekends, because I knew that people who don't know about me may be on TikTok and may be freaking out about clutter after Thanksgiving and before the holidays. And so I wanted to make myself available to them. The cool thing is because you know me and how I roll, is the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, which I'm going to just check on right now, is, let me see what it is the place to go for the recordings of TikTok lives and YouTube lives. Again, to put them on in your background. Putting one of these lives or recorded lives on while you are decluttering or driving around in your car. Just don't look at the camera. Don't look at the screen. Pretend it's a podcast. Putting this on in the background and listening to it while you're doing something is a great substitution for the live. Right now, today, there are 909 videos available for free out there. After I upload the recording of this one, there'll be 910. Crazy. Alrighty. There we go. So Laura Gibbon Voorhees is stuck, and then Kimmy is asking me a question about how much Christmas decorating do I do, and I'm going to tell you a story about Christmas decorating in just a minute, but let me help Laura Gibbon Voorhees first, and good morning, damn it, Jonna. A little stuck on 2 toys my son said he doesn't want anymore. Okay, he wrote his name on the bottom of them. This, to me, is the thing about personalizing something that can trip us up. But Laura, let me help you with this. First of all, notice this. Notice that you are feeling that the object is the same, but you have a different feeling about it because it has his name on the bottom of it. Oh, his name's on it. He wrote his name on it. Creates a bit more of a sentimental story than if the toy didn't have his name on it, right? So what I would offer, notice it is your son's toy, and he has said he doesn't want it anymore. Trust him that he doesn't want it anymore. And so notice that your string is attached to the fact that at some point he wrote his name on it. And who knows, maybe it's in his cute little stumbling letters when he was, writing, or you can just recognize his stuff. This has tripped me up as well, when somebody has written my name in a book that they've given me or things like that. So I say, Laura, one of the ways you can kind of break that tie to that thing and be easily able to do it. Barbara Dean is suggesting you can take a picture of his signature. So you could take a picture of his signature. Then, if it makes you feel odd to donate it with his name on it, you can make it more anonymous again. You can bring it back to being so personal that his name is on it, to take the name off of it. Now, depending upon how we wrote it, you may be able to use some Goo Gone or something like that, or the opposite, which is, a big old marker, and just cover up his name. This will also encourage somebody who might find this, if it's something you decide to donate, that it makes it more anonymous to somebody who wants to get it. Not like, oh, this is kind of weird. It was owned by a kid named Timmy, and then, he got stuck in the well, and then Lassie came to help him out. So yeah, so it's okay to be stuck. And notice you just said a little stuck. I'm a little stuck, like my tape is not that sticky. I can unstuck. But notice that even feeling a little stuck can benefit from a process, a thought process, and a feeling process. Okay, I hope that helps. Now, Kimmy was asking, Beth, how much Christmas decorating do I do? And I will share with you, Kimmy, not as much as I used to do, but the right amount for me. I used to be so excited when I was in my 20s and moving out of my parents' home and creating my own tradition and my own style and the things that I thought were important. One of the things that was important to me was I wanted to decorate for Christmas like I wanted to, not like the house I grew up in. And so I did. I bought ornaments. As Erin knows, I used to work at Pier 1 Imports for a wicked long time. So I would, get ornaments that I liked from Pier 1. I then I've always been a thrifter and a collector. So I would buy kitschy, tacky, fun 50s, vintagey type ornaments when I was anywhere. A thrift store, a yard sale, a church sale, stuff like that. And I also loved it when I would see pictures in other people's houses of them having a lot of stuff. And so I did that for a while. I did. I decorated so many surfaces for the holidays, and especially kind of fast forward to where I live now for the last 20 years. We would often have a big holiday party. Now, we are in discussion right now with my husband and I are saying we have not done that since before COVID, and even a few years before, because we did a big party in June. So since then, it started as something fun, and maybe you can relate to this. You did it because it was fun at the beginning, and you're like, oh, I love this. This is so good. I'm putting out my stuff, and I'm decorating and stuff. And then I was kind of like, this is not fun anymore. This is kind of a pain in my butt. I am not enjoying this, and I don't like the feeling of not enjoying around the holidays. Yeah, okay, so Erin gets it. Same, same. Every surface decorated in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, that chapter is over. And this chapter for me, Erin, is simplicity and ease and just the right amount, not too little. We have friends who don't put up anything, so that's fine with them. Not too little, but not too much. Now, I share this with you specifically, and then I also want to talk a little bit about sentimental decluttering, photos and things. Talk about one of the tools in your toolkit for decluttering that also helps you with other projects is the concept of chunking it down. What does chunking it down mean? It basically means doing a little bit at a time. Not overwhelming yourself and saying, I have to decorate the whole house today. No. So yesterday, my husband and I chunked down and we put up some Christmas decorations. We put the candles in the windows, those little 3-prong ones. I don't know if you can see them. Like the plastic ones with the C7 bulbs on them. We've got those in the windows. I put up a couple of wreaths, the easy things that it was easy to find it, easy to put it up, easy to enjoy it. Now, I still have about 5 small red and green totes that I swear I probably bought a Pier 1 back in the 90s, filled with other Christmas decor. Now, I had planned on putting that stuff up sometime this week, because he and I are going on a trip on that Saturday. So we said, notice the due date. Notice having a due date. Let's get all of our Christmas up before we leave for the trip. So my initial due date for getting the other stuff up a little bit at a time was before the trip. Well, last night, a text thread went by, and we got a thing where we were supposed to get together tonight with some friends at somebody else's house. That's not going to work out. So we discussed it and offered, again, having a house that's not cluttered made it easy for us to say, sure, you can come over to our house. We'll dust a little bit, not a big deal, but yeah, come on over. And then I said, you know what? I looked at my schedule and I said, I have a little bit of a wide opening this afternoon between clients. Why don't we get some more Christmas decor up before our friends come over? Notice that I've tightened up the time, that I think it would be nice that our friends could see our Christmas decor, because we decorate for ourselves, but I don't know about you, sometimes it's nice when people see your stuff, So I have tightened up the amount of time that we're gonna get it done by. And even this, and even then we may chunk it down. It doesn't have to be all done before them, but it's a good way to put some pep in my step to just have some fun and get it done. So notice that a couple of things from my stories and from other people have chimed in. You can do something for a while in your life and it can feel good. It feels fun. You enjoy it. There is nothing wrong with realizing when that fun and enjoyment shifts into obligation and not so joyous and not so fun. That is okay. It may have to do with just your changing situation, your energy, your, wanting to make that much of an effort for the holidays. I am in an era of simplicity and ease like you wouldn't believe. So I have then decluttered throughout these many years, some of my Christmas decor. So I have just the right amount to put out. And I don't feel obligated to find a home for some of these other things. Now, last year, I did not put out. I put out the right amount for last year. And there were some things that were left over that I did not put out. I labeled those last year. I put them in a separate tote and I labeled did not put out in 2024. So that is the tote I will probably open up first this afternoon. Say, okay, last year I was not so thrilled about these. Has my mind changed? And maybe I do a thing where every other year I put out some different things because it's the volume that it would be it. Or if I look in there and I pick out each one and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like putting it out this year. That's when I will take action and do something with that stuff. Okay? You are allowed to change your mind. High Wraith says crochet projects. I don't want to do it anymore. It is okay for you to not want to do it anymore. There's nothing wrong with that. And do what feels good to you. Now, Laura Gibbon Voorhees, oh, yay, photo shoot with Woody, Toy Story doll. Well, of course, literally and metaphorically, Woody is going to tug on your heartstrings. You're going to pull the little thing and go, I've got a snake in my boot, right? I mean, that whole story is about kids growing up and leaving their toys behind. I don't have kids. I don't have toys. Well, I've got my teddy bear, Felix. But that tugs on my heartstrings. So, yay for you. Now to deal with the underside of his boots. Yeah. You know, and who knows? I mean, there's no judgment here with what you decide to let go of and what you decide to keep. But I can imagine that that was an extra emotional thing. So, yay for you for going through it. All right? Yeah. Now, Albright Photography just sharpied the boot bottoms. Okay, there you go. There you go. And now the neat thing is, Laura, just think about it. Some little kid, actually it'd be funny, wasn't the kid's name Andy? You could write like Andy on it. Some little kid who might get that at a Goodwill or a thrift store or something like that now can call that toy his own or her own or their own. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cap says, growing up with Toy Story definitely impacted the way I see my toys, especially as a doll girl. So treat them with kindness. Tuck them in a little box. Send them off and give them a good home. You know? But don't just do it. I should probably actually rewatch Toy Story as a decluttering life coach to see what happened. Because I watched it. I mean, literally, that came out, you guys. That movie came out when I was still living in Massachusetts. Yeah. It was easier to say goodbye. Aw, hon. Woody needs a little bath, and I discovered the other toy, Buzz Lightyear, was broken, so it was easier to say goodbye. Yeah, and you know why? Toy Story makes us feel feelings of growing and changing and things that we care about that we don't care anymore, but we see it from the eyes of watching it happen to somebody else. So, I'm going to drink some tea and think about, you've got a friend in me. I'm going to freaking cry, you guys. That gets me. That movie hits me in the feels. So, Albright Photography is we're talking about Christmas or holiday decor. For me, I don't mind putting it out. Notice that feeling of I don't mind doing it. I love that feeling. That's the feeling. Erin, if you're listening, that's the feeling I would love for you to have every time you're opening up your suitcase and putting stuff away. Not like I mind doing this. I don't mind. I don't love it. You don't have to love it. But I don't mind doing this. I don't mind putting it out if I have help and some people that are excited about it. Yep. Having participation in the project, and many hands make light work. When my husband and when I usually would cut up the green beans for Thanksgiving, that would be my jam. This year I said, could you participate in this? Notice how I'm not trying to say help me with it. Could you participate in this? He did, no problem. We sat there. And big surprise, it took half as long because the work was divided up. It felt wicked easy as opposed to me being like, this has taken a while. All right? And notice this, Albright, is the excitement, the energy somebody brings to a project. Now, I might as well introduce myself again. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching here on TikTok, on YouTube, and the internet is Destination Decluttered. And I show up to share with you tools to help you make decluttering something that's no big deal, okay? Notice that the energy somebody else brings to a project or you yourself brings to a project can affect how you feel about the project. Now, hearkening back to my days in retail at Pier 1 Imports and Mikasa, and then, oh God, I worked at Best Buy for a while. I used to be so freaking physically and mentally exhausted during the holidays that I was a crab. Sadly, I did not enjoy doing a lot of decorating. It felt more of like an obligation and frustration, and it compounded because I didn't want to feel that way. I wanted to feel good about it. my energy was kind of stinking up the process. So what I learned to do over the years is how can I, knowing that that may happen, what can I do to make sure my energy is feeling clean and good about it? So one of the things I make sure is that it's simple to put up the decorations. Nothing's too fussy. That things have kind of almost an assigned home. That's where this goes. That's where that goes. It's kind of a tradition that goes, on top of the refrigerator or whatever. I also put on music. Man, if there's ever a song that's going to lower my blood pressure and increase my holiday feels, it's "Oh Christmas Tree" from the great Vince Guaraldi, Charlie Brown. So notice the things you can do to make you feel better while you're doing something. Getting somebody to participate in it. And sometimes somebody else's energy about it can infect, they talk about infectious energy. You can think of how fun this is and how good this is. And then stop before you start to turn crabby. Okay? So, yeah. Oh, sorry, you guys. I was too busy chatting. I didn't see Austin being a troll. I got it. Okay? There we go. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Donna. I've just exited the troll. Well, hey, at least I have fewer questions. I thought I had a bunch of questions to answer there. So yeah, give it a shot. Give it a minute to catch up. And thank you, Donna. The other thing too, I will just offer to you guys too, if you see a troll, sometimes I think you can report them or block them or something. I don't know if it would block it for everybody, but you may be able to personally block them. Just a thing. Grandma says, as a grandma, I have saved some, not all, of my children's toys, and my grandchildren love them. Yes. Now, here's an interesting thing. Saving things for people who do not exist yet. Sometimes you have, you think you're going to have grandkids and you save the toys. So maybe you do that. Okay. Yeah. There we go. All right. So we don't have our troll. This is another reason, you guys, that a lot of the stuff we do here on Destination Decluttered is on Zoom. We have a Zoom declutter party that's coming up at 9 a.m. if you want to join. We have actually, I sent out an email. So people who are part of the email group, I sent out an email this morning. We're going to have a Zoom kind of holiday party later on in the month on Zoom. And that's one of the reasons we do things kind of behind the wall of the email group, is because I don't like trolls. It's I want to weed them out. I want to declutter the trolls. Trolls are definitely something that you're yeah, no, I'm getting rid of that. So if you want to do some of this fun stuff and not be bugged by trolls, just make sure that I have your email address. So in case TikTok goes bye-bye, we can still stay in touch and be hey, we're meeting over here. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that's okay. Notice Laura says Wood is going to stay with me after all. He's not huge. He takes up more room in the heart anyway. That's okay. Again, feeling good about your decisions and walking through. And I would offer this, I would offer this. Hold on for a sec. Laura Gibbon Voorhees, let me ask you this. Do you feel better having walked through the decision-making process of whether you should keep or let go of Woody? Does it feel... Because to me, that process we go through of thinking and feeling and deciding what it would be like without them and going through all those steps can make you feel better about whatever choice. The choice to let him go or the choice to, yes, you know what? I'm intentionally going to keep him. I'm just curious because I like to walk through that process because I want to feel good about the decisions I make because I want to feel good. I feel good. Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Laura says, yes, knowing that I could release it was empowering. Yeah. I could. See, there's a difference. Now, this is where I could release it, but I choose not to. Versus I'm clinging on to it because I'm afraid of letting go. Notice the difference in the energy between those two things. You're still ending up with the item, but instead of being fearful of letting it go, you could let it go, but you've chosen to keep it. Notice my hands are gripping. Aw, I'm in sappy tears. Oh, hon, here, have a tissue. Have a tissue. And there's no sappy tears. Tears are helpful. Tears, you know that you're a feeling human being, not some bot or troll or zombie or robot or unfeeling person. And I don't want to hang out with anybody who does not cry sappy tears. All right? Just saying. All right? So, yay. Here, Jermaine, hand me a tissue. Wanderlust girl. I have trouble letting stuffed animals go. Yeah, because they tend to have personalities. Notice you may have just tuned in. You may have missed Laura kind of walking through the process of letting go of some of her son's toys. Walking yourself through the process. Could I give this? Would a kid enjoy this? Do I need this now? Can I let it go? I have my Felix. Actually, it's funny talking about. I totally forgot when I used to work retail. I worked for Filene's Christmas. Whew. And I won a Felix doll, a Felix teddy bear. I've had him since 1986, people. He's going to be buried with me if I get buried, okay? So I know what it's like to hang on to a stuffed animal, even though I'm at the young age of 59. You don't have to let them go. But what I will say is this. Think of quality as opposed to quantity. Okay? Yeah. Quality versus quantity. Yeah. And Erin, I love hearing this. She says that's a great takeaway. I feel that overall. Not as much tension, releasing things. Yes. Notice when you learn a process to declutter, it just creates less tension. Now, I will share with you, I want to make sure I do this because I actually have, so again, it's about 8:30. I'm going to be here for another half an hour, but I have a story to tell you guys with visual accompaniment, okay? Because even though I am a decluttering life coach and I help people both personally, professionally, free here, one-on-one clients, I'm accepting new clients now. Just sign up for a consultation. You can do that on my website. I am also going through, okay, I have Pooh, Eeyore, Piglet, and Rabbits. Okay, so notice when things come as a little set of friends. See how much room they take up. You know, feel good about whatever decision you make. That's what I say. I am a decluttering life coach, and one of the things I coach about is the 3 layers of clutter. This is something I kind of made up myself, but man, does it work. This is why I bring it up all the time. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Okay? Notice sentimental clutter is the last one, and when my hands go from top to bottom, it's there. It's the ones that's near your heart, the stuff that tells you stories, okay? And I'm going to pause for a second because somebody reminded the Island of Misfit Toys kids. I used to have those too, Cat Mama. You know, what I will offer to everybody, maybe, my husband and I don't have a lot of, we give gifts, small gifts or travel and things like that, okay? And what I will say is, under the Christmas tree can be a nice place to have those things hang out. That's what we do. All right. Anyhow, I am a decluttering life coach, so my surfaces are looking good and my storage is looking good. And I have actively decluttered so much of my sentimental clutter. But one thing that I had not gotten around to until now is decluttering my photos. So I've been walking everybody through this process for about a month now, because I have decades worth of photos that I saved. And I will share with you, you guys, that it has been so eye-opening to max me up, so you may feel this way too, that you don't realize how much you've been carrying around with you, and then you open up the container and realize you've been lugging around crap with you. Now, I say this with you because I used to take a lot of photos, okay? And at different points in my life, I have organized them. I have organized them into chunks of, you know, well, here we go. So I've organized them into a container, right? So this is a container with photos from the 90s and beyond. I then chunked them down at different times, and I made a chunk. These ones from 1995. These ones were from 96. You don't see 94, 93, 92 in there because you know where they are, is these big heavy chunks for a number of the years before that, from 90 to 95, is now barely this little thing here of stuff that I'm going to keep. And look at this. Again, heavy. This entire thing. Do you see that this is all filled with photos that are going in the trash? Now, let me reassure you. First of all, look at how physically heavy that was. Since 1990, I have lived in multiple places. Since 2000, I have lugged around my photos from the 90s. Not all of them right now feel like they were worth lugging around. Not all of them were good photos. You know what a lot of these were? This was the thing that cracked me up. So, I don't know about you, but people back in the day, does this sound familiar? You would get your photos from the CVS, right? Oh, funny. Okay. And then you would look at them. You'd open it up and you'd have your negatives here, and you'd open them up and look them out. And then you look at them. And this is funny because I'm seeing pictures of people I haven't seen in a while. Hello? Yes, and you would get double prints too. So these are probably doubles. And you know what you probably did, because this is what I did, is I pulled the good ones out, and the good ones went into a photo album. But for whatever reason, I might need them someday. What if I want to, what if I want to make a copy, right? I put the not so good ones here, and I have kept these literally since 1995. And I will tell you, that one's going in the trash. There's many of these that are going in the trash. I probably haven't seen these since 1995, knowing that I had a cat named Potato at some point. But I can easily let them go now. And I say easily because it feels good. And you know what's going to feel even better? Is dumping that stuff in the trash and then literally never having to deal with them again in any other future part of my life to have to go through those. Now I'm walking down memory lane, as I like to say, like nobody's business. I feel a literal and metaphorical weight lifted that I have been afraid to go through those photos. Afraid of looking at things and feeling bad about my previous life. Afraid that I wasn't as good as a photographer that I wanted. Afraid that, it would bring up bad feelings. Now I'm like, oh my God, no. How many pictures of my ex-husband do I need? None. Okay. So let me ask you. I just wanted to I just wanted to share that with you. Okay? Because I am going through this myself, and to see the quantity reduce, but the quality ones I'm keeping. Okay? Now, Cap, I apologize. I only see half of your comment. Sometimes this happens. Things get filtered out, so I don't know what you wrote. You said, or is that welcome? That's all I see. Just distracting and slows me down. Yeah. So feel free to, I apologize. We're using a free service here called TikTok. I will say, if you can rewrite your comment. What I will share, though, about going through sentimental things, just so you are prepared. This is like we are on a road trip, and I'm the one out ahead of everybody else. So I am the one who's navigating these situations before you, okay? So I will share with you that more so than any other clutter, this is the one where you need to make sure you're feeling good physically and mentally to go through it. That you give yourself a chunk of time, and then please pay attention to how you're feeling physically and mentally and emotionally. And when you start to feel yourself drained and heavy, which is weird because if you were drained, you should be lighter, stop. Chunk it down. I thought maybe yesterday when I was decluttering that I could get that whole tote done because but I did from 90 to 95 I did. And then I felt, you know what? I'm going to stop now because this is taking a toll on me. I really think if you think about it, this is one of the things that I find fascinating about it is our brain can allow us to feel like we're traveling in time. okay? So I offer to you that time travel takes it out of you. It's almost like, I feel like almost a bit like, what is it, Severance? Where it's like, whoa, okay, I'm back here in 2025. Even though I was there, was that 30 years ago? Was 95? Even though I was 30 years, Oh, hey, so something, this is interesting. I must be, there must be a lot of trolls coming out, so I'm going through it. So I am blocking some of the trolls that I see, just so you guys know, okay? And if I get somebody real, I'm apologizing, but you just got to prove to me you're not a troll. Okay, so Cap, when you say, I always forget my limitations, I get hungry, this is when, Cap, what I would insert into your process would be setting a timer. Setting a timer. The timer goes off, and the timer tells you to check in with yourself. Am I hungry? Am I achy because I've been sitting in the same position? Do I have to pee? Check in with yourself. Disrupt the hyper-focus temporarily to check in with your human body, okay? So that's what I would offer to you. I was doing that last night also because, as I said, at some point I had chunked these down into these chunks. I would say, like, okay, when I get through one of these chunks, I will stop and check with myself. All right, how do I feel? I feel okay. Can I do another chunk? It's almost like checking how much gas is in your tank. All right. Wanderlust Girl says, how often do you go through your clothes and shoes? Typically at the beginning of a season, and then throughout the season, what I try to do, Wanderlust Girl, so maybe this will help, is because I am actively aware of the patterns that we tend to use 20% of our stuff 80% of the time, I try to make sure that I wear all of the clothes that I have for a season in that season. So I will, for example, when I do laundry and I have a bunch of my long sleeve black t-shirts in them, I have a place in my drawer. I have like a divider in my drawer that I will put the stuff that I've already worn. Then the stuff that I have not worn yet is another pile, and I will play this game where I'm not allowed to wear something I've already worn before until I wear something in that pile. Because the reason I do this is because the clutter tends to be not the stuff that you use or wear or eat or interact with. It's the stuff that just kind of sits there and you're not using it, and it's getting in the way of what you do use. Like, for example, think about that in the notion of having a drawer. When you have clothes that you want to go put away, laundry, anybody, and it's hard to put away your laundry because your drawers are already full, notice that your drawers are filled with clothes that you haven't actively worn recently. Okay? So notice that about your own clothes. Maybe you play a game that you say, I'm going to make sure I wear everything in this pile before I start wearing this pile. Because there are certain reasons that you don't even realize that you're just grabbing the stuff that's easy, and there's a reason that the other stuff doesn't feel as easy to wear. The other thing, frankly, that this may help you with, which kind of blew my mind, is we always think we need so many clothes, like a whole bunch. I was surprised that even in my modest amount of summer clothes that hang on my hangers, dresses and things like that, that I made an effort to wear them. And even in that entire season, I maybe wore a dress once or twice without repeating it. So that reminded me that I don't need as many new clothes as I may think I do. Okay? Does that help? I hope that helps, Wanderlust Girl. I do. All right. So a couple of things. Just checking, cleaning up things here. So it's 8:44. If you're interested, there's a declutter party offered at 9 a.m. Nobody has signed up yet, which is fine. If you do, that's great. We will have a party. And if not, I'm going to use that part time that I carved out of my schedule to go through these. I will declutter. I'll have my own party. It's cool. But I just want to let you know that that's available. Also, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Here on TikTok, I typically show up on TikTok doing lives, scheduled lives. I scheduled this for 8 a.m. I showed up. It's going to end at 9 a.m. So if you like what you're hearing in this live kind of environment, there's a schedule that's available to you. If you share your email address with me, I'll share the schedule with you. And it's on a page of the internet that nobody else sees except people who have access to it. And so you can see where I'm scheduled. Heck, I'm going to look at it now for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right. So you always know when you can tune in. It's like, I like to call it the TV guide. There we go. I love this errand. I will be returning several new pieces of business and holiday clothing that I bought but no longer need. I love that. Returning what you don't need and getting your money back. Ooh, good stuff. Yeah, because you're cutting down on December travel. Rock on. That's great. Good stuff. See, we learn these things and we do things a little bit different. Doing things a little bit differently in the short term makes big changes in the long term. There was something else I was going to say. I don't know. I'm tired of talking about myself. What can I help you with in the next 14 minutes, you guys? I'm here for you. This is the beauty of the live. The recordings you do not get, obviously, this live, in front of a studio audience kind of interaction. So use the benefits. You have a declutter question you want to ask me? Help me. There we go. Yes, Erin, no clutter in my closet for the win and money in my pocket. I love it. That's a win-win. Yay. Good stuff. And cutting down on December travel will probably increase your energy level and kind of smooth out your schedule a little bit. So yay for that too. Okay. So this time of year can be especially chaotic for many of us, even if you don't really do a big thing with the holidays. Notice that the energy of the world we live in tends to get keyed up, and people who own stores want us to be all in a reactionary state, because then you're more likely to buy something. Now, here's a thought that I just want to plant a seed. I want to offer this seed to, if you want to water it and let it grow, okay? Which is this. Usually around sometime in December, there is a gift-giving exchange with people that you know or don't know. If you are already struggling with too much stuff in your house, I think it would be very beneficial for you to share with the people that may give you gifts that you're struggling with clutter, to say in advance before they stop buying stuff for you, thank you, but no. How about this year, we don't exchange an item, maybe we spend some time together. Try to do what you can to not allow the holidays to make your already existing clutter problem worse. Okay? So just have that conversation with the gift givers in your family. Okay? Rooney the Beagle, woof woof. Do you advise organizing vintage photos by family member or time frame? It can be any way. It really can be. What I would say, Rooney the Beagle, honestly, because I do this, I'm going through my own personal archives. Now I sound like freaking Depeche Mode right now, but I also am the family archivist. So I would say this, Rooney the Beagle, figure out who your audience is. Whose story are you telling, and who are you telling it to? So if you are saving vintage photographs for future generations, you might want to put those ones into context of who they were in the family and how they're related to those people. On the other hand, it could be just like, this is your grandmother, you can play around with it. And the wonderful thing is, in the modern world, instead of checking off on an envelope, yes, I want doubles, you can digitize photos and have multiple copies. So you could do this is my grandmother set. And then you could do, this is the whole my mother's side of the family set, okay? There's no official right or wrong way to go about it, but just think about who you're saving it for. Like, for example, I'll be completely honest right now. When I am going to go through my own photos, pictures of people in my life that I took, etc. This is so funny. I'm seriously seeing pictures that I haven't seen in 30 years. It's a trip, people. It's a trip. I'm happily putting many of them in the trash. Trash night is tonight. What I will say is, My personal story is important to me while I am here. My details of my personal story will not be as important to anybody else, no matter how much they love me or know me. So I will severely edit my stuff because it's only good for me, and I will share. I already have a freaking envelope of photos that I would want to be included in the family tree. The ones where I feel like I look good, that represent me looking good in, the family tree. And so there's a difference between the family tree legacy that goes on for generations, so you can see how we're all attached, and my own personal deep everyday, here's a picture I took in, April of 1994. Nobody else needs to see that except for me. Okay? Yeah. Depeche Commode, exactly. Yeah, Cat Mama. Yeah, you see? And it depends on your people. Okay? All right? Yeah. Wanderlust says, I want my kids to open presents, but don't want more junk. So what could those presents be that are not junk? Could it be a present that represents an event? Could it be a something that's a consumable, or something that represents, hey, we're going on a trip, or we're going to the zoo, or we're going to go get ice cream? Could it be a big box with a gift card in it? That a gift card means the day that you're going to go have fun. Yeah? Now, Cat Mama says she tried to say no but met with resistance, so it's going to depend on your people. Other people have very strong opinions of what it means to be in the holidays. What it means to be in the holidays. What it means to not give a gift. Even if the person says thank you, but no, you don't have to give me. It can disrupt other people's habits. Okay? Some wanted to pick names to limit gifts, but not all agreed. Yeah, it can be difficult. But I will say, yay for you for introducing this notion, because you may have planted a seed in somebody else's heads that may take a while to bloom. Yeah, I love it. User 1963 says, I made coupons to go do something for a day. Movie and a pizza, museum and ice cream, ice rink and cocoa. And those are my favorite combos, is an action and a food. I love it. Ooh, my mom is gifting her John Lewis sterling bangles to her grandkids. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, and Amy, here's the deal. Let me share with you. I don't want to think about the digital photos that need to be pared down. Notice the overwhelm that triggers. What I will share with you is this. Having been through both of them, it is so much easier, in a way, to limit the digital photos. And even if you have so many, it doesn't take up the physical space. The overwhelm. You could delete something. Oops, I deleted it and it's gone forever. Whatever. But physical clutter is different. But if you learn this process with your physical clutter, it also carries on to your digital. Okay, but notice where a quantity of anything can trigger overwhelm. All the, the digital photos. All right. It's so funny, you guys, I'm looking around for my phone to talk about my digital photos on my phone. I'm talking into my phone right now to you, right? So notice that we have photo albums now. Instead of being an album with photos in it, it's on our phone. That we share photos differently, that we save photos. Back in the day, was I taking pictures of my food? No. And waiting 2 weeks I was not using my precious film frame for a picture of my nachos from Saturday night. But nowadays, we have unlimited storage and all that type of thing. So the photos that are in my digital photo album are a chronological photo of what seemed important to me at the time. Again, it tells a story about me. If there are occasionally the family photos or the friend photos, I put those in separate albums so I know where to easily access them. Yeah. So it is a similar process. Never understood taking pictures of food. Why? I'll tell you why I do it. Because part of the enjoyment of travel and life for me is remembering the things I ate. Notice how up thread somebody said they like to pair an action, cookies and going caroling or something like that. I am a visual person and I love eating tasty food. Oh my God, remember that pizza we had at Pizzeria Regina with the cup, the tangy sauce and all that. The visual of the photo creates a reaction in my body. So I love seeing that stuff and reminding myself, ooh, that was good. Maybe we'll go there again. That's why I do it. And it's part of the more detailed context of my life. If anybody wanted to walk through my photos, they would know what kind of food I like simply by the food pictures that I take. Now I love this because we only have 6 minutes left. And I want to just share with you a couple things. First of all, I'm going to share the wins that Laura Gibbon Voorhees has had. Okay, Laura says, sorting to select for the gem shop took longer than I thought. It's okay. But I finally made some decisions. Decisions may take some time. Allow yourself the time to make a decision you feel good with. So yay, yes, it took longer, but I finally made some decisions. So that's a deeper decision about how I will send along a huge bin of Pyrite toys to donate at several places. And the win will be I will have a big cleared space. Okay? Makes a big cleared space. I love that. Yay, Laura Gibbon Voorhees, and look at what good stuff you got done in less than an hour. While you're chiming in, while you're interacting and getting a dopamine hit of connectivity with other fellow humans and just being on TikTok, which totally always makes us feel good, right? And it's really neat. User 1963 is saying, ooh, that sounds like fun to Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Yeah. So yeah, and I hope Kat Roby is doing well with her stuff. Cat Mama, the other thing too, when you were talking about taking pictures of food, I will share with you, is that it also can provide a connection to people. You say it makes sense for travel. So one of the things that I took pictures of food-wise and shared with multiple threads of people, okay, is we have family recipes. So I made a family recipe for Thanksgiving. While I live here in Pennsylvania, I'm originally from Massachusetts. Most of my family's in New England. Some of my family is down in Florida. I was able to take a picture of my version of the family food and send it to my sister and then send it to my cousins, and it provided a connection. Okay? Now, Amy, I love that you're trying to support my mom and letting go of her stuff. I love that. Be supportive and helpful and patient and try not to be judgy and frustrated. That can be me sometimes. Okay? Now, user 1963 is saying, I usually don't know where is best to start. Surface clutter everywhere or concentrate on one area. I would say this. User 1963, I would work on surface clutter first. Now, I wouldn't say everywhere, but in one room, you might want to just focus on, notice we're chunking down here, in one room, start working on the surface clutter. The reason I say that is because if you concentrate on one area, you're going to need the surface to spread out the things that have been stored that you need to sort. Okay? And best, I want you to think of, good, better, best. No, a good place to start. Best implies worst. As long as you start and you start decluttering and putting things back where they belong and making decisions about things that you're actively feeling good about and you're making good decisions, that's a good way to start. If you're looking for the best way, that may stop you because you're like, I'm not sure. Is this the best way or is there a better way to do it? No, is it a good way to start? Yeah, thank you. That's so true. She says, hardly any surfaces. Yeah. So start with your surface clutter, because the other thing too, and I would start with your surface clutter and have a notebook and pen on hand. Because what you're going to realize is when you are doing your surface clutter, one of the reasons you may have surface clutter is because 2 reasons. Yay, Kat Roby. Mission accomplished. 2 reasons why you may have surface clutter. And then I'm going to sign off, okay? One of them is because you don't have a home, an official home for something. So it's just kind of living on the surface. You haven't assigned a home to it. This lives in this drawer. This goes in this cupboard. This goes in this closet. Okay, so there's one reason. But the other reason is you may have a place you want to put it, but that storage place is already filled up with stuff. So as you are decluttering, you may need to have a deeper convo with yourself. So write it down. Find a home for the slow cooker. Clean out the closet to make room for the slow cooker. That type of thing. Okay? Now, good morning, Cynthia. Lovely to see you. Good morning, but I'm going to have to say good morning in the farewell portion. Happy December, everybody. So a couple of things, all right? There will be no declutter party after this because nobody signed up, and that's fine with me. But what I want to encourage you to do is to, if you're not on the Destination Decluttered email group, give me your email address, share that with me. I can then share with you the schedule for the TikTok lives and YouTube lives that we're going to have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week. Looking further out, there will be some declutter parties that happen in December, but I'm getting some eye surgery, and I'm not 100% sure how that's going to suss out with what I do. So I'm keeping it extra flexible this month, but never fear. One thing I do have scheduled also is a fun Zoom party for us, okay? Yeah, okay? So, Damn It Donna is celebrating 4 years sober today. Rock on, my friend. Rock on. Yes, don't forget to do your pavers and potholes sheets, people. Thank you. I printed mine out. You do yours. Okay? Erin says her suitcase is back where it belongs and door wreaths are up. All while getting ready for work and deciding that you've got stuff you're returning. Erin, you are kicking serious tuchus. Okay? Now I have to go because I want to jump in and throw away pictures of my ex-husband. Okay? So I will see you guys tomorrow. We've got a TikTok live and YouTube live. All right? I will see you guys tomorrow. Rock on with your bad self and have a wonderful beginning of December.